if we're talking Риу, Jamaica age range, reggae is those spring breakers that's your like 21 to I would cap it at 27, 28, depending on how fun you are. Montego Bay will be more so the family because it is open and, you know, if you're traveling with children, but still kind of want to have some fun, that's a good spot for that. And then Palace would be our 28 and up, more mature, looking for a turn up, but some sleep.
That's perfectly said. Perfectly said, Jasmine. And you said you stayed at Reggae.
Reggae, because I didn't know any better.
I can't.
We back.
Hey, y'all. Hey. So, guys, welcome to part 2 of our Mexico versus Jamaica episode.
Yes.
If you haven't caught the first one, definitely go back because it was long and we had to take a break.
Yes.
But there was so much good information and we didn't even realize how in-depth it was going to be.
Yeah.
But the tea and the gems were doing what they needed to do.
Yeah, this is great information. So we are going to dive right back in on must-stays in Mexico and Jamaica.
Jumping right into it. All right. Must stay in Jamaica.
Yes.
So the first one is my personal favorite, 𝗏𝗏𝗁 Riviera.
Yes.
Okay. So if you go back to previous episodes, we did do a deep dive into the 𝗏𝗏𝗁 experience because Jasmine and I both had an opportunity to visit. But this specific one is 𝗏𝗏𝗁 Riviera. It's on the compound, but it's the newest property. It is adults only. It is modern. It is beautiful, and it is a must stay.
Absolutely.
And that was the one we toured at the end of our
it's so gorgeous. Like that's where I got my pictures.
But I did have the pleasure of staying here when they first reopened in 2020, actually.
Okay.
And it was like perfect.
It is gorgeous.
And I've stayed again multiple times since because I can't get enough of it.
It is so gorgeous.
Yes.
And we always talk about luxury. This is like literally the luxury of the 𝗏𝗏𝗁 brand.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a more high-end, upscale luxe experience, this is definitely the 𝗏𝗏𝗁 you want to stay at when in Mexico.
Sure.
Like this is the one.
Yes.
The other ones are great.
Yeah.
But this is more so if you're looking for that luxurious experience, this is the must stay.
And we talked about in the part 1, swimming with the dolphins, how you went to 𝗚𝗏𝘁 Mujeres and did that activity, but it's actually available on the resort.
Right there.
So you don't need to leave.
They have dolphins.
They have dolphins and you can swim with them. And it is an activity.
Yes.
On the compound, guys. Like,
we love it.
you can't go wrong. And like I said, we specifically are mentioning 𝗏𝗏𝗁 Riviera, but it is on a compound with 5 other resorts. So it is the 6th resort. And again, go back and watch the full deep dive of the 𝗏𝗏𝗁 experience. But you can't go wrong with staying on any of them. And you have access to all of the attractions across the compound. Yeah. So it's a great families, friends, couples, everybody.
Yeah.
No matter.
It's gorgeous. Like so gorgeous. Breathtaking. Another must stay in Mexico is Valentine Imperial.
Yep.
I personally have not stayed there just yet, but I will be soon.
Period.
But we meaning the TGI team.
Yes.
If y'all don't know who TGI is yet,
shame on you. And play with somebody else because you're playing at this point.
But the TGI team got to sit down with their team to talk more about the property and get a deep dive on what they have to offer. And when we talk luxury, like this property is gorgeous.
Yes.
Like it is that clean, neutral, white, like filled robe, slippers, all that.
It's a ta-ta-ta-ta is what I like to call it.
Yes.
What we did forget to mention is that this property as well as 𝗏𝗏𝗁 Riviera are both in the Riviera Maya section of Mexico. So again, if you go back to part 1, we break down all the different areas, all the top areas, we should say. And these 2 are in one specifically. But yes, Valentine Imperial is also an adults only. I promise the list is not full of all adults only. But it is something special because, to Jasmine's point, it certainly gives you the luxury, but it's also like nestled into its own private area.
It's like a community.
It is, yeah. And so it's on a private beach. It's not an open beach. It's surrounded by lush trees and greenery. So it almost feels a little bit Tulum style.
Exactly.
But you're then still getting the beautiful resort, the luxury, the beachfront. The food here is top tier as well. Like, I can't wait for us to go back this fall. I know we're going, guys, so stay tuned for the full deep dive on Valentine Imperial. But yes, definitely stay here. Yes. Next one is...
We love this.
It's just like, honestly, forget everything you know about a luxury resort and just go stay at a LeBlanc property, okay?
Period.
So this specifically is LeBlanc Cancun, but I had the opportunity to stay at LeBlanc Cabo for New Year's, and Jasmine saw my story.
I'm like, I can't wait to get to a LeBlanc. I haven't stayed at one yet, but just from Tasha, if you follow Tasha, you know her stories and highlights can be very informative, make you feel like you're in the moment. I'm like, oh yes. It was the Moet for me. Like,
it was the Moet.
I was sold at Moet LeBlanc.
Ciao. Okay, so full disclosure, LeBlanc is also an adults only. But again, we gonna get, just so you know, we mentioned specifically Barcelona Riviera because that is the adults only property on the compound.
Exactly.
But the rest of the properties on the compound are family friendly and also wonderful. This one is just the best. Okay. Back to LeBlanc Cancun. Y'all, Jasmine talking about this Moet. Every time I ordered a glass of champagne, and if you've been around TFS from the beginning, you already know I am a champagne mommy. So I'm going to order champagne. But every time I ordered it, first of all, they came up to you, show you the bottle of Moet, and then place it. They're not pouring you the glass. They're giving you the bottle. It is included in your stay. Come on. Luxury, ta-ta-ta.
Come on. Like.
So in addition to the experience at LeBlanc, the facility is stunning. Just beautiful. The service is top tier. The rooms are new, modern, and great. The food is Michelin star. There's a Michelin star chef. It's just... do yourself a favor.
Come through experience.
It's 100% giving experience.
Yes.
And as the title suggests, it's not far. It's in the Cancun area. So you're getting, again, if you go back to part 1, we talked about that 𝗓𝘃 experience. You're not getting that. You're still getting your chance to enjoy the life of luxury.
Exactly.
Without hearing all night long.
Exactly. But you can still step into the strip of Cancun and get that vibe. But this is that luxury in Cancun. And like we said in episode 1, in part 1, excuse me, it's a little bit more immature, a little younger in Cancun. So to still be able to get this mature, adults only luxury vibe, but in Cancun, it's a must stay.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, they won.
And then last but not least,
I was just thinking about this
property
the other day. This property.
I want to send them a message and just be like, hey, can I come for 2 nights?
Like, what y'all doing? Hey, big kid. Catalonia Costa Mujeres.
Yes.
So we talked about the Catalonia brand and their offerings. Now Costa Mujeres is their newest property, which I think opened in 2020.
I think it was 2019.
2019, then I think they had a little shutdown. Exactly.
Yes.
So, oh my God, it feels like the newest property.
Yes,
we
it's
toured
so good.
all of the Catalonias. And again, is this adults only?
It's not.
It's not.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. This is their newer property. They do have adults only under the Catalonia brand. I believe that's like the Tulum options. But this is just an option under the brand. There are other options across Mexico, but this is the best. The Costa Mujeres location is about 10 minutes from Cancun. 10, 15.
No.
No? A little further?
Well, you know what? Actually, from the airport itself, because I didn't do the distance from the airport, but from Cancun, remember, because we went to Harry's and it took us about 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah. But it was pretty close. Because at first when I thought Costa Mujeres, I'm thinking like Isla Mujeres. So I'm like, how far are we about to be?
But it's different.
But it is relatively close. And Costa Mujeres is a newer luxury area of Cancun.
Yes.
So if you're looking to get that new, these properties have been here for maybe
a couple of years.
Under a decade for sure. Brand new, that luxury experience. Costa Mujeres is unexplored area of Cancun.
And before it gets explored,
yes, it is.
Do yourself a favor.
Luxurious. Like this resort was breathtaking.
Yes.
Gorgeous. The
Gorgeous,
food was
gorgeous
good.
girls.
I remember the
You need to
welcome
be
drink
here.
was so good. The welcome drink was great. The lobby in itself is like this breathtaking, like great
entrance. I know. It's like, I feel like you can really tell how the resort experience is going to be based on that lobby.
Exactly.
I don't care what anyone says. I have walked into a lobby and been like,
okay.
And most of the property still goes on brand with the versus when you walk in and you're like,
oh my God.
Oh, wow.
And then you get to the room and you're like, oh,
yes,
wow.
It's pretty consistent. So take a peek at the lobby. See how that y'all make you feel.
Yeah, exactly.
But Catalonia, Costa Mujeres was a wonderful experience. And more importantly, for those that care, the rooms were rooming.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
The room types here. So first of all, it's an all suite property. So every room is a suite, no matter what. The smallest room is still a suite. And they just equip these rooms with all this modern technology, luxury amenities.
Yes.
It's just, you need to be here.
Yes, you have to. Even if it's 1 or 2 nights of your trip.
Yes.
Even if you choose to stay somewhere else and then visit Costa Mujeres on like your way out, it is add Catalonia, Costa Mujeres to the list.
Which is also, I don't know how most people vacation, but I'm like all for, let me get a 2-in-1. I did that when I went to Panama. I stayed further out and then came closer to the airport and stayed overnight in Panama City so that I can be closer to the airport. So that's definitely a travel hack to get a 2-for-1.
Exactly.
Yeah. Where to stay in Jamaica?
Y'all know I love Jamaica.
Go back and watch part 1 for the tea on Jamaica.
This is funny because we just joked about the 𝗓𝗏. But again, I do not hate the 𝗓𝗏, and I stayed at a 𝗓𝗏 in Jamaica as well. So a must stay if you are looking for a turn up party vibe, but still mature. 𝗓𝗏 Palace in Jamaica is a great option because it is the adults only option. But it is also connected to the 𝗓𝗏 Montego Bay and the 𝗓𝗏 Reggae. That's where I stayed. And the 𝗓𝗏 Palace gives you access to the other 2 resorts. And again, it is the adults only, so everyone from the other resorts can't come to you, but you can come to them. So you get to explore 3 properties, pay for 1, play at 3.
Yeah.
And you also have that sanity because it is adults only. So it's a little bit more reserved in comparison to the other 2 properties. And if I'm not mistaken, if I'm thinking about the layout, I believe it's on the further end. So it's kind of like off by itself, and then the other 2 properties can walk over to that one.
Gotcha. Yeah. I saw on TikTok someone did like a full deep dive of comparing the 3 properties, and they basically gave like age ranges. And I was like, I can appreciate that. And they landed on, the palace being
the more mature,
where they needed to be.
Exactly.
So depending on your style, or your maturity level or care of, you have those 3 different options to choose from.
If we're talking 𝗓𝗏, Jamaica, age range, reggae is those spring breakers that's your like 21 to I would cap it at 27, 28, depending on how fun you are. Montego Bay will be more so the family, because it is open, and if you're traveling with children, but still kind of want to have some fun, that's a good spot for that. And then Palace would be our 28 and up, more mature, looking for a turn up, but some sleep.
That's perfectly said. Perfectly said, Jasmine. And you said you stayed at Reagan.
Reagan, because I didn't know any better at the time.
I can't. Oh, so that's one area. And what area is that located?
That is right in Montego Bay. So that is
Okay,
about
gotcha. 𝗓𝗏 Montego Bay.
yeah. So that's just maybe 15 from the airport,
Yeah.
15, 20 from the airport. Yep.
That's good to know. So then there's also Ocean Coral Spring / Ocean Eden Bay.
Yes.
And again, if you go back, we did a full deep dive on these two properties in previous episodes. So do yourself a favor.
Yes.
But they, in my opinion, I thought that they were just really great offerings.
Great.
Not only are these the two of the newest resorts in Jamaica, and if you know anything about Jamaica, you know they're a little seasoned,
Outdated
on the aesthetics around there.
No shade.
So these two properties were built within the last 3 years. So they're definitely going to be the most modern and have the bells and whistles that most of the travelers of today are looking for.
Definitely.
But in addition to that, there, plethora of options as well.
Yes.
So the property has like 9 restaurants and just
They
so
got a little
much-
strip.
Yes.
The property has
Promenade.
its own strip.
Yes. In the property. Like it's a whole thing.
Yeah. So great property.
And just to kind of give you an idea of the two, so Ocean Coral Spring is family friendly.
Yep.
Ocean Eden Bay is adults only. They do share a compound as well, similar to the 𝗓𝘃𝗏𝗏 as we just mentioned. So if you're staying on the adults only side, you have access to the other, but the other side does not have access to you.
Exactly.
And that's like, I mean, we shared that when we were talking about the Mexico as well. When we talk about Barcelo. It's just, in my opinion, it's a cool way to
Cool
vacation.
option. Yeah, you literally pay for one and you get the option of two. I actually was doing some recent research, sending some quotes out for Ocean, and the prices are very similar. So if you're someone who is looking to do the adults only, this is the brand that you want to do it for, because the price will be very similar to the family friendly resort in comparison to adults only can run you
hundreds
of dollars more per person simply because of that access. So this is one of those resorts where it's like, wow, I could pay for adults only and get that pay at one, play at two for basically the same price.
Yeah, like I was very shocked.
You don't get that in a lot of places
lately, and I'm like, that's like $40.
Yeah, literally, like I
I read
saw
the 40
yesterday. It was the same. I didn't want to tell y'all it was the same price.
Yeah, like it was the same thing. I was like,
it was the same price. But they share the same amenities. They share the similar offerings. The only difference is it's adults only versus family friendly. But again, that can cost you hundreds of dollars with other resorts.
places, yeah.
So
So definitely this is a great place to stay if you're in Jamaica.
yes.
And this is in the Trelawney area, which is about 40 minutes or so from the airport. And then you have Grand Palladium.
Yes.
Another compound, another multi. It is a Big John, another multi-resort area that has Grand Palladium Jamaica and then Grand Palladium Lady Hamilton.
Yes.
So the reason that I put this on the list was because they just did renovations.
They look good.
And we love a good reno, and they do look good.
They look really good.
So I had a friend that was staying there a couple weeks ago, and I was watching her story, and I was just like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, they look good.
Because they would not have been on my list prior to that. And I stayed there before, and then I stayed there again, and I was like, whoa, this is different.
Okay. Was it because of the renovations?
No,
or?
I haven't stayed since the renovations. I'm just saying I stayed in 2016, and then I went back in 2021.
Okay.
And I was like, ooh, the times have not been good to you. So I was so happy to see that they did this reno.
That's awesome.
And these renovated rooms and these, like, they're suites and they're with with walkout or swim outs, and they're very nice.
They look great. They do.
So now it is back on my list.
Yeah. We gotta check them out.
Yes.
Yeah, that is often one that comes up as a top search, but I haven't been there. So
Yeah. And the thing with Grand Palladium is, like, the grounds are beautiful.
yeah.
And when I stayed there again the first time, which is back in 2016, everything was beautiful. But that 5-year difference, I was like, dang, what happened? But it's good now. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully.
We're gonna see.
Yeah. Good.
And last but not least is another popular one in Jamaica, 𝗚𝗏𝗁.
Yes. I know
So
y'all seen this on your timeline.
yeah, this is another like aesthetically pleasing,
Yes, very much that.
attractive
Very
hotel.
much that.
Also something I've noticed, these cute little new names, when it's the simpler the name, the more luxurious the vibe is, I've been noticing. So I'm like, 𝗚𝗏𝗁. But it gives much more than just one letter.
Yes.
It gives you a full experience for sure.
Yeah. And is that one adults only?
I do believe the 𝗚𝗏𝗁 is adults only as
I
well.
ain't seen no children.
Yeah,
I do know that they have an all-inclusive option.
Yeah.
So you can definitely add that. And if you haven't seen it on your timeline, look it up. It's very pretty. And it's
Gorgeous.
right on the hip strip, like
Right
on
in the mix.
Right in the mix. So we talked a little bit about the hip strip in the part 1. So definitely go back and listen. But this is right in the mix, 10 minutes or so from the airport, nowhere. Modern, new, and a vibe. So if you are a traveler that is young, fresh, and free, or just cute, mature, and vibey,
yes,
I think this is a great option for either style.
And also, I think it's budget friendly because, like you said, they have that those options where you can get meal plans, but because you're right on the strip, you have accessibility to cheaper food options. So if you did want to just pay for your stay and then, eat on the strip, that can, be cost efficient as well in comparison to maybe spending a little bit more on all inclusive and not enjoying your food and still buying food.
Yeah.
So I like that it gives you that option to be like right in the mix because usually you have to pay to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is a boutique property. So, don't necessarily go there thinking you're going to get full-blown resort style. It's very much a boutique hotel, but it's catering to a more modern and savvy kind of traveler.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so we've done all of the major tea. Where to stay, what to do, how to make it happen. Let's jump in some tips.
Yes.
Tips to navigating these destinations because
you need them.
You need them, all right? It can get a little bit overwhelming around there. So we're here to help.
In both areas. And like Tosh said, don't fall for the tourist scams. So these tips should help you to kind of avoid those like first timer where they will take advantage of you being a naive tourist, being somewhere like not having an accent, they on you.
Next thing you know, you're calling mom, send me some money. It took off my money. And then you are mom, so who you calling? So let's jump into tips for navigating Mexico.
Yes.
First things first.
Very first thing first.
And I sent Jasmine a TikTok about this, but I also had known this before that TikTok, and I was just like, why is more people...
How did you fall for that?
Why are more people not saying this? So now I feel like we must say this on Travel Fly Sexy. Do not buy the margarita at the Cancun International Airport. That is the Margaritaville little restaurant outside of the terminal. Do not go there. I don't care how long your money is. Don't do it. The margaritas are like $40 a piece for like a 10-ounce cup. Like it's, y'all, they are getting over heavy on the get over.
Yeah, and it was a TikTok, the girl was going off. She like, what y'all think I don't got no money? Like they trying to overcharge me for this.
And but she's it's like, showing like her like Van Cleef.
She's like, I got money, but it's like, girl, you gonna spend that $40 then? We see you got money. We see.
It might have been even more than that. I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
she was just pissed about paying for those margaritas, and that's also a terrible way to go into your vacation. You don't want to feel like, dang, I've been bamboozled. Like now I'm just like kind of aggravated with the locals here. It's literally in the airport. They know that people need to wait, whether it's for your transportation or waiting for someone to meet you. And that's how they get you. So just don't fall a victim.
Don't. Because we get it. You're ready to start vacation. You finally cleared that customs line that you might have been in for an hour and a half. We understand. You're looking for it to take the edge off. Don't do it there. Don't do it there. There's some cute little stands, some carts if you walk down where the cars are located that have a little bit more reasonable prices for some beer or some wine. But that Margaritaville, no.
It's not worth it.
Don't do it.
It is not worth it. Wait till you're going to an all-inclusive resort 9 times out of 10. Wait till you get there. Second thing will be opting for private transportation. I actually just read a review about this, which was an interesting review. Reviews are always interesting. It was a shared transportation company, but the comment was about them having to make so many drop-offs. It's like after spending hours in the airport, and then we had to make several drop-offs. We were the last people to get dropped off. So if you're considering time, do not use this. And I mean, I was like, common sense, duh. But the person was basically saying they got picked up at 6 and then into their resort till 9. And obviously the distance wasn't that long, but they had that many drop-offs to where it had to go here, there, everywhere.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing with Mexico and flying into Cancun Airport. It's different for other destinations, and we'll talk about that shortly. But there are so many resorts in Mexico specifically, but in that region, that yes, it will take a while, regardless if you think, all right, well, everyone's resort is 15 to or 20 to 40 minutes from the airport.
We all got to be close.
So many though, and some of those buses are loaded. Like they're like buses. They're not even like vans. You know.
Yeah.
So it can add up very quickly in Mexico. It might not be the same in other places because there's not as many resorts as there are in a cluster within Mexico. But that's why Mexico is probably the one time or one of the times where you want to opt for private.
And if you have an earlier flight and you have a little bit more time, like let's say you land around 11 noon in the morning, you have a few more hours to kind of play with because the room's probably not available. So if that's the case, you might not be that aggregate. But if you had an evening flight like this person, 6 p.m., you want to get to your resort. So do yourself a favor and just opt for private, so that way you know that it's you, who you're with, and you guys are going to your destination.
Correct.
So that's a big tip.
Another tip, if you're staying in the Riviera Maya area, visit Playa del Carmen. I know we talked about Playa. Jasmine will be in Playa next week. I can't wait for her.
I'm so excited.
I've been in Playa many a times. We went into detail in part 1 about Playa del Carmen. It's a must.
Yes.
Do not visit Riviera Maya and not go to Playa del Carmen. And I'm saying that specifically because we just gave you a couple of resorts that are in Riviera Maya that you should stay. But if you're going to Playa area, if you're going in that area, please make some time for Playa del Carmen. All right? Thank us later.
That is a must. I can't believe it's my first time going to Playa, but don't be like me.
It will not be your last. It will not be your last.
Yeah. And another one that we talked about in part 1, but buy a ticket. Get on a ferry, whether it's a ferry or a catamaran, get your butt to 𝗚𝗏𝗻. Like if you're in Mexico, definitely visit the island while you're there. Take a day trip if you're not looking to stay there. But it is certainly worth the visit. It's worth the ride.
𝗚𝗏𝗻 is gorgeous.
Yes.
Like depending on where you're staying in Cancun or even in Costa Mujeres, you can see the island off the coast.
Yep.
And you can also see that the water around it is literally crystal blue.
Gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
It's so pretty.
It is beautiful. And it doesn't feel like you're on this or in this touristy area. Like it totally feels like you just stumbled upon a fun little spot in Mexico.
It's like you're in a community. Yeah, it's so crazy. And I think while you're there, you can rent like a
golf cart.
A golf cart. And it's what? They say it takes like an hour to get from one side of the island. So it's like you can literally explore the whole island while you're there.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know, you just feel it. For those of the people that like experiences or they just prefer to not do touristy things all the time, this is actually a great option. Even though we're saying like go here, many people aren't going here. So it still feels like uncharted and local.
Like the locals will just catch a ferry just to get from Mexico and just to get like that's a little vacation or a break for them. But like you said, it does not feel like all the tourists are there. Like if you're on the strip in Cancun where you're like, okay, obviously we're all on vacation. But no, when you're on the island, it's like, oh, like it doesn't feel like that. It's really nice.
I love it.
Last but not least, our final tip for navigating Mexico is to tip.
Tip those people.
Tip those people. That's everywhere. I'm sick of y'all.
We done had enough, all right?
Like, I'm sick of y'all. You have to tip people. I do appreciate going to places now that kind of include tips.
Yeah.
Like when we were in Miami, obviously, it's kind of included in every bill. But when you're in places like an all-inclusive resort, or if you're doing excursions and you've already prepaid, tip these people. What are y'all doing?
Like, I don't even understand why people just don't even think that that's
why y'all don't get it.
I get it. I know. Sometimes you've spent your hard-earned money. You almost didn't make it on this vacation. And you like, I don't really got nothing to spare. But it's not for real. I'm still. I understand that. But you have to just remember that sometimes those people are living off of tips.
Yep.
Like, especially when you're doing these excursions and kind of just going off the resort where they may only be dealing with you that day, or maybe be dealing with a few people that day. That's a real reality.
Yes.
So please compensate them for their time. And in a place like Mexico, the dollar is much greater. So know the currency conversion.
Yes.
You can download the app. I think it's called like 𝗥𝗡 that I use and been using for years to understand the conversion. And, your $1 or $2 USD goes a long way in some of these places. So just tip, and again, know the conversion, because you don't want to be the baller. In this case, you would be the baller.
Overballing. Yeah.
If you're like dropping 5s and 10s all the time, you balling.
Yeah.
So
$1 or $2 goes a long way, especially on an all-inclusive resort.
That's what I'm saying. Like, somebody make you a drink, throw them $1 or $2.
It goes a
maybe
long
a 5 is at dinner because it's been a full service situation, but tip the people.
Yeah. And that even includes like your room service and all those type of things. Again, these people are working for tips 9 times out of 10. Like, obviously they have a salary, but if you look up international tourism salaries and hospitality, you'll get some insight on what that looks like, and maybe that'll encourage you to tip.
With that being said, let's navigate into some tips for Jamaica. And number one, just so y'all know, they gonna look at you for the tip in Jamaica.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm like, don't play with them. Don't play with it.
So
they're not even gonna make you a drink. No, now it's no liquor in your drink because you
play yourself. Jamaica, you best to have your ones ready. And also our USD goes a long way there as well.
Definitely.
But I'll let you go into the first one.
Yeah. So the first one for navigating Jamaica would be the distance. I think you can kind of look up Jamaica and it just seems like everything is so close in vicinity, but you are going to be on long drives. So if you're finding yourself off the resort, or even sometimes to get to the resort from the airport, there are maybe hour to 3-hour drives, depending on what part of the island you are visiting. So a lot of those excursion days run you the whole day.
Yeah.
Whereas like you can have an excursion in Mexico where it might be 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours tops, including transportation. In Jamaica, you're out for 8 to 10 hours.
Yep.
Including your travel and then the time of your excursions, depending on what you're doing. So you're definitely getting back. It's super dark. It's time to maybe eat and go to sleep. If you even got the energy to eat.
Jasmine always talking about going to sleep, y'all.
Yes.
Like, sis be knocked out.
Sleep.
She always sleep.
Everybody think that I be like, y'all think I be outside. I be asleep when I'm outside. Like, man, I just slept through an excursion a few days ago.
Yo, what is wrong with her? She forever telling y'all.
Sleep through something.
All her advice is
y'all could keep the
eat good and sleep well. Good night.
On vacation, you still gotta sleep.
But she's absolutely right. Like the excursions are on various parts of the island. So your excursion day will be kind of tailored, structured that way. But keeping in mind, it may seem like it's moving pretty seamless when you're going, but at the end of that day, it's a straight shot back to your resort. So that's a couple of hours.
Yeah.
It's a couple of hours because you're not stopping like you were heading that way.
Exactly.
So keep in, prepare your mind for distance travel when you're in Jamaica. Now, funny enough, we just said in Mexico to do the private transportation. But in Jamaica, the tip actually is to consider the shared transportation.
Yeah.
I've done both in Jamaica, and the shared transportation is actually pretty cool. I feel like most of the people in Jamaica come to Jamaica with a certain type of vibe and energy about them. And it just was like, all right, we out here.
Mhm.
The transportation's usually as well. They do stop for you to have some food and drinks along the way. And like I said, your bus mates are usually a vibe. I say usually because Jasmine had an interesting story the last time she
Yeah.
did a shared
I was ready to go.
in Jamaica. So usually.
But yeah, I think it also is more of an experience because like you said, those drivers, those local drivers tend to make stops. They're like, hey,
Mhm.
if you want to get some local beer or like a
Yes.
patty or something, they'll
Yes.
make those stops along the way. And the resorts aren't as spread out depending if you're staying in the Montego Bay area,
Mhm.
you know, you might not be on road as long as you would if you were in Mexico.
Yeah. So shared transportation, not the baddest thing in Jamaica. But other places, be cautious.
Yes.
Um,
Number 3, we talked about the hip strip.
yes.
All the good clubs are in 𝗏𝗏.
Period.
So if you're looking to get that nightlife vibe while in Jamaica, Montego Bay, the Hip Strip, those clubs are great for tourists.
Mhm.
Obviously, locals will be like, "Oh, come here."
Yeah. Yeah.
But for safety and I would say the most lit experience that's tailored to how we want to experience
Mhm.
the turn up culture, uh stay in 𝗏𝗏.
Yeah. That's facts. And yeah, I went to a dope strip club in 𝗏𝗏.
Oh, really?
They had a time in there. I
I
was
can
like,
only imagine.
yo, I was like, okay, y'all, I see y'all. Again, guys, in my 20s. It's a different time of my life. Nevertheless, they do have some really great clubs in the 𝗏𝗏 area. So if you're looking for the nightlife, can't go wrong there.
Yes.
What else we got? So I would say also another tip for Jamaica is like the real good, authentic food you're
The
probably
local.
gonna find in the grill.
Yes.
Yeah. Or on your way
On
to
your
the
way
grill.
to those excursions,
Yeah.
like Tosh mentioned, you'll make those stops.
Yes.
That's the good
Yeah. So, not for nothing. I know your resort got jerk chicken.
food.
I know this.
Mm,
But it's not Mr. Big's jerk chicken.
yeah, it's not.
It ain't. It's not the side of the road. It's not it's not.
Yeah.
Even if it's made by the locals, they still got rules to follow so that you're not
It's mass
sitting
produced.
there like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
child, no.
Yeah.
So it is only but so good.
Yeah.
But when you go into the town or you hit that side of the road, thank us later.
This not on there, but I'm adding this. Go to 𝗏𝗃.
Period.
Talked about it on our Jamaica episode. I'm not playing because I didn't go the first time I went. Go to 𝗏𝗃
The
when you're in
Jamaica
When
KFC.
you're in Jamaica, go to 𝗏𝗃. You have to. It's
Yeah.
a must. They don't play about them seasons and spices.
It's not Jamaica. I mean, it's not KFC here. It is not the US KFC.
No.
The chicken is different.
You gotta taste it because like
You can't
can only
actually
describe
explain it.
fried
Yeah.
chicken, but it's like so it's just like,
Mm-mm.
oh, it's just a crispy piece of fried chicken. Like, no, you
Mm-mm.
have to try it. It's delicious and
Mm-mm.
well worth the wait. And I think the experience is worth experiencing as well.
Full disclosure, Jasmine went into the restaurant and she stood in the line for 42 minutes.
Yeah. It was fun though.
Exactly. For her.
Yeah. It's like, it was fun. Shout out to my friends I met in KFC. We follow each other online and we stay in touch.
From the KFC. Ciao. And last but not least, for tips navigating Jamaica, ask if entrance fees for the excursions
Yes.
are included with your transportation.
Mhm.
And the reason I'm saying this is because there are so many tour operators in Jamaica. Everybody owns a van and everybody can apparently take you where you need to go, right?
Mhm.
A lot of those people, though, are strictly transportation, and they don't necessarily tell you that until you get to your destination.
Yeah.
So if you're going with a smaller small business owner, that's fine. We want to support them and we encourage you to. But definitely ask that question because sometimes they're strictly just transportation for you.
They
And
just drop you off there.
Exactly. And you're paying them X amount of dollars per person for the day. And it doesn't include your entry into these different excursions. So
Mhm.
when you get to Bamboo Raft, you still got to pay. When you get to Rick's Cafe, you still got to do XYZ. So, if you can find experiences that are all inclusive, then that'll certainly help you save in the long run as well.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah, that's like a big thing I'm noticing in Jamaica specifically.
In Jamaica specifically, yeah, because a lot of them will get you there, but then they work with different operators. So it's like if you want to know if it's a package price, like if you're paying for them to pay them, or again, if you have to pay these other locals once you get to them.
Right. And definitely if it is a matter of you have to pay when you get there, ask your tour guide or your driver what the pricing is.
Yeah. So you're not figuring it out while you're there.
And then, you're pulling out your money and all of a sudden they see you got a couple extra dollars, they charge you a different price. It's a whole thing when you're traveling, guys.
Yes, it is.
Traveling is great, but everybody trying to make $1. So the more you know, the better you'll do.
Exactly. Especially the locals, because they have their own structure. So it's not like you're going to just go and there's like a printout that says this specifically. They're like, what I said is what I said.
That's the price today. Today.
For you.
Oh, for you. Right. So with that being said, let's wrap it up with our favorite thing.
Oh, this is tough.
I know. About Mexico or Jamaica or even both.
Dang.
I know. Before we close out this part 2 of Mexico versus Jamaica.
You can go first.
I knew you was going to do that.
All right. I always do that. Jeez. Okay. I'll do one for each. Let's see. How granular do I want to get? I would say for my favorite thing about Jamaica is it's been one of the best cultural experiences.
Yep.
I know a lot of people will say they go to Jamaica and Jamaicans are mean and they don't get like embraced. They stay on the resort and they're like, oh, they're a little hasty.
Who's saying that?
Which I get, because if you're not nice, if you're not nice to people, they're not nice to you. I say it about the airport staff. I say it about our drivers. I say it about the any operators, any workers. Like if you don't put out positive energy, you're not getting positive energy.
Come on, somebody.
In my time in Jamaica, I had nothing. Like, I feel like they are my family. Like, I feel like these people, like every person I meet, like every local I meet, like it's such a personal engagement. So I feel like the cultural experience for such a short time, I think I've only been there twice, 3 times. It's like, I feel so connected to this place. And it's a place that I literally be like, I see why people can come here every year.
Yeah.
Like you can go to Jamaica and get a different experience every time you go.
That's
so the cultural experience for Jamaica, and for Mexico, I would say more so the food experiences. Those food groups have really great, like, the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏s, the taboos. So if you're looking for a big, luxurious, like out there type of experience, that's not something we really have here. Like, you got to find a restaurant that's like, they might bring out like the sign, like if you get bottle service, but like to get a full blown experience at dinner.
Yes.
So I think those dining experiences in Mexico have been some of my top dining experiences.
That's a great point. Oh, y'all.
It's tough.
I know. Like, this might be the first one. Am I going to cop out? Like, I don't know. Because I think you definitely touched on both very keenly. I'm going to do a both.
Okay.
Instead of doing one or the other, or one and one. And I will say, part of the reason that we're even doing this episode is because my favorite thing about Mexico and Jamaica is that every time you go, you absolutely have a different experience.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned earlier, I've been to Mexico upwards of 10 plus times at this point. I stopped counting. And I've been to Jamaica 5 times now. And literally, I can explain each experience to you in exactly a different way every time. So whether or not you're a person who visits destinations once and have a rule about that, or you visit destinations more than once and it's something that just becomes an annual tradition for you, these two are one of the ones where you're going to have a different experience every time.
Yeah.
It's almost guaranteed.
Definitely.
No matter the resort you stay, no matter the area of which the resort is in, the excursion you choose to do on that trip, it's going to yield you different results. And I love that. So many destinations are very much great destinations, but you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting. You will have a different time in Mexico or Jamaica every time. And that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Great thing.
That's why we keep going. That's why
we shall.
They are top destinations, and that's why you should go.
Period. What you doing? What you doing? And if you want to go, but you don't know, we finna tell you now. Because if you don't know, Jasmine and I are both a part of Travel Goddess International, which is a full-service travel agency that can assist with bringing your next unforgettable vacation experience to life.
Yes, so if you are looking to go to Mexico, Jamaica, or anywhere, feel free to contact us. We will have the information in the show notes, and it's a perfect segment into
the traveling travel agent.
Yes.
Because, guys, we be outside. We just told you that. We want you to be outside.
Yes.
All right. So with that being said, we're going to go into our travel deal of the week. And hopefully this is something that inspires you to get your butt out that seat and on that plane. All right. So our travel deal of the week is a 4-day, 3-night trip to Jamaica.
No
Because
other
what we
than.
even talking about, y'all? What we talking about today?
Period.
It's going to be in late October
Mhm.
with flights via American Airlines,
Which we love.
departing from PHL, Philly in the building, at a 5-star resort, 𝗏𝘃 Montego Bay. Again,
Yes,
we are so on brand right now. If you haven't watched part 1 or 2, this travel deal is beyond on brand. Staying at the 𝗏𝘃 Montego Bay. All of that, guys. 4 days, 3 nights, American Airlines flights from Philly, 5-star resort at the 𝗏𝘃 Montego Bay.
For how much?
$730 per person. $730 per person.
That's crazy.
That's wild. And if you don't know, Jamaica can get real expensive.
Yes, especially right now. I was just about to say, like, Jamaica is upwards of 16 to 18 per person.
Yes.
$100.
Like they want
For
their
all
coins
inclusive.
there.
Like, because it's a popular destination. Like, and we are in the summer, we're transitioning. People are looking to take their time off for the fall. That is a great number.
Yeah. Yeah.
$730, that's less than $1,500 for 2 people, all inclusive.
What?
To Jamaica.
To Jamaica, guys. Again, I know y'all looked up the Jamaica pricing.
Yeah.
So y'all already know. You know, y'all didn't see that. I know y'all didn't see that. That is a Travel Goddess International exclusive. All right. So we will drop the link in the show notes for you guys to be able to view this travel deal or any of the travel deals on our website. But of course, if you're looking for something that is catered specifically to you and your traveling needs, style, etc., we welcome you to submit a consultation on our website.
Absolutely.
And Jasmine or I or our team of travel advisors will assist with bringing your vacation experience to life.
Absolutely.
Now, I can't say that I've seen it in Jamaica, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
I looked and I haven't seen it either.
Nevertheless, it's time to get brunchy.
Let's get brunchy.
But maybe not in Jamaica.
So Brunch Abroad, this week's Brunch Abroad is back in Miami, y'all. I realized, and I'm gonna pull some new stuff out for y'all because I know y'all sick of Miami, Chicago, and Houston.
But are we though?
But I love those places. Like those are like my
them.
top 3 domestic destinations. So when it comes to brunch, I am honing in on the brunch spots at these places. But let me know if it's any specific cities that you want to see, your hometown that you want to see some spots in. I'll do a little bit more research and get my feet out there. But this week we back in Miami. This time in Wynwood. We're transitioning off South Beach and made our way to Wynwood for 𝗏𝗏𝗏.
I have not heard of this.
𝗏𝗏𝗏 Jamaican Caribbean kitchen in Wynwood. Wynwood is like the artsy district of Miami. So they have like a bunch of beautiful paintings on the wall, graffiti, all types of art. And this is a Caribbean restaurant. So since it is very on brand.
It's still on brand, period.
Since we're talking about Jamaica, get you some Jamaican food, Jamaican brunch in Wynwood. So I just actually was here like a week or so ago. They offer bottle service, so it's not bottomless, but they do have bottles of champagne for about $40, $45, which come with a carafe of orange juice. The cocktails were amazing. The cocktail list was very extensive. They have your classic like rum punch, and then they have like some different like cute little creative things.
I love a rum punch.
Yeah, we love a classic rum punch. But the drinks were great. The food was great, which was also a mixture of Caribbean signatures and some brunch classics. So we had like 𝗚𝗏𝗁𝗏 and saltfish, But then we also had chicken and waffles. So very cute brunch. Yeah, exactly. So they got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Live DJ. Again, it is a Caribbean restaurant, so it's lit. So you get those super lit vibes in the Wynwood area for brunch.
That sounds really cute.
Great job.
I love that. Jamaican, Miami.
Yes.
brunch.
It's bringing it all together.
It's
like
bringing it all together.
pretty much my vibe. Jamaica, Miami, brunch.
The end.
Me in a restaurant.
Well, then, that's a perfect segue into our final segment, question of the day. Today's question of the day, Jasmine, is similar to what you've just said. So now I feel like this is going to be hard for you.
This.
Okay, question of the day, guys. Brunch or fine dining? Dinner specifically.
Yeah.
That's tough because I know it's tough for you
Yeah.
because you literally just
Love
talked
both.
about how you enjoy all the dining experiences of
Yeah.
Mexico. And I know you love dinner. I know you love a dinner experience, but I know
Ugh,
you with brunch.
That
queen
is
of
so
brunch.
hard.
I knew it when I wrote it.
That is so hard. And I really don't be knowing the question of the day till we get here. And I'm like, dang, I am stumped yet again. You want to go first?
I will go first, give you a moment to gather. I am going to say it's actually a little hard for me too, because Lord knows I love a bottomless.
Yeah.
But I love a fine dining experience. And that's not to say that brunch you can't get good. But if you guys don't know, and I think I've said this before, I can live my life without breakfast.
Yeah.
So normally when I go to brunch anyway, I'm finding the savory things on the menu, a shrimp and grits, possibly a chicken and waffle, but So give me fine dining.
Okay.
All the way through, all the ta-ta-ta. And again, to your point, yes, Mexico's dining experiences have been phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I'm choosing fine dining.
Okay, that's a good one. I'm gonna stick on brand and go with brunch. Here's why though. If you listen to part 1 and you listen to this full episode, you know that I be asleep. So for me to like keep the strength throughout the day, especially on vacation, if we're talking about vacation, like I'm like kind of burnt out by a certain time, and I'm like, I don't know if I can give dinner the energy that it needs. If I can get like a little nap, cool. Or if I could pace myself through the day and I know like, okay, tonight's the dinner and the club night. Cool. But I could definitely come out the gate swinging with brunch. So guaranteed you're going to get good vibes from Jazz for brunch.
Yes.
So I don't know about dinner. Like I could talk about it. Then I get there and be like, I might not even eat because I'd be like, I ate throughout the day or I was like, but brunch, yeah. And I also love breakfast. Like brunch is for me. Like I'm like a mixture of that breakfast, lunch, and let's start drinking early so I can go to sleep and take a nap. So brunch for me.
That I've actually seen this happen, so I know that this to be true. And
I'll be done.
Yes, child. We've thugged it out a few times, but luckily we just always, when we're traveling together, we'd be on the same page.
Yes.
But we've thugged it out because we've wanted the experience. But like, Lord knows, we also wanted the bed. Yes. For the like after a certain hour in the evening. So that's a fair response. Well, what will you guys choose?
Yes, let us know in the comments, brunch or fine dining.
You know, we just want to know. We want to see where your head's at. Okay? With that being said, what else we got?
I think that's it of part 2.
Ciao.
That's a lot.
Thank y'all for bearing that with us. Okay, this is the first time we did a little 2-parter, but it had to be done. There was a lot of information to share.
Absolutely. So let us know your thoughts on Mexico versus Jamaica.
Yes.
Which one are you picking? Where are you going? And again, if you need us to help, whether it's Mexico, Jamaica, or anywhere, please contact us to book your trip.
Period. And of course, guys, we appreciate the support. So continue to like, comment, and share the episode, the podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend that the TFS girls are new and improved every Wednesday.
Yes.
And of course, thank you to those that are already left us some feedback. We saw some new reviews and we appreciate it. It truly does make us happy, keep us going.
Yes.
Definitely a vibe.
And be sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏
you.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Mexico and Jamaica, thank you guys for being here.
Yes, period. See y'all.
See you next time. Bye.